Greg, on this special edition of Gutfeld. Let's get right into some jokes. Donald Trump blasted Seth Meyers, calling him one of the least talented late-night television hosts out there. I guess that makes one thing clear. He's never seen Fox News Saturday Night with Jimmy Fallon.
Wow. No one's seen it.
According to the New York Times, Trump now has gay conservatives flocking to D.C., with one gay man comparing him to a drag queen. That's not fair. Trump wears less makeup. Burning Man's infamous orgy dome, where festival goers have unbridled sex, was destroyed by a massive windstorm. Well, better luck next year, Mr. Kudlow. A super PAC raised more than $1 million for Andrew Cuomo's mayoral campaign last week. Cuomo was so excited, he grabbed his own ass. A green dildo was thrown on the field during a game between the Minnesota Vikings and Tennessee Titans. The fan who tossed it said he was hoping to free up the tight end. And firefighters in England rescued a cow that had sank neck deep in a 10-foot pit of mud. The cow was then returned home. Oh. You thought it was going to be The View, didn't you? No, that's Greg's thing. All right, moving on. So, according to a report, Vanity Fair's new editor is interested in putting First Lady Melania Trump on its cover. And the magazine's staff is totally fine with it. Just kidding. They're outraged and ready to quit. One unnamed editor even whined to the Daily Mail saying, "I will walk out the door and half my staff will follow me. We are not going to normalize this despot and his wife. We're just not going to do it. We're going to stand for what's right." Now, who knows if they'll follow through and leave? Another employee said they doubt people would quit a prestigious job over it, or even a job at Vanity Fair. Also, would they really have the balls to quit if they didn't even give their name to the reporter? They didn't even say their name was Spartacus. Missing a perfect opportunity for a movie reference that I don't get at all because it wasn't in Happy Gilmore. The truth is, threatening to quit over something like this is dumb. Like when Greg's contract talks stalled over his demand for a second helicopter. More than 77 million Americans voted for Trump. Sure, some of them got lost on the way to the polls. But you can't shut them out and pretend they don't exist. And it's not like the magazine's publisher, Condé Nast, has shied away from this before. Melania did appear on the cover of Vanity Fair Mexico in 2017. Michelle Obama appeared on Vogue's cover 3 times while she was First Lady, and Jill Biden was on 2 during Joe's term. And Doug Emhoff, he was on the cover of Immoral Housekeeping. The bottom line, refusing to work with people with whom you disagree is ridiculous. And it's a lesson these magazine staffers need to learn because people everywhere are starting to realize it. Have you noticed some left-leaning outlets are more welcoming towards conservatives now? I don't know if you guys heard, but Greg was on The Tonight Show. He sent an email earlier today saying I couldn't host if I didn't mention that. Anyway, Greg might be right when he says this is evidence of the culture shifting towards the right. But it could be a shift not away from the left or even toward the right, but towards a culture that doesn't decide the value of a person based on politics. We used to call it being an American. So, thank you. So, it's not a lot to ask of these Vanity Fair staffers to put up with seeing a cover of a person they don't like. I don't love every single guest that's ever appeared on this channel. Sometimes I even do shows with them.
I've been saying it for years.
But having Having to deal with stuff at work that you don't like isn't unique to media. It's literally what a job is. I'm sure all of you at home have that one dude or chick you absolutely can't stand. If you don't, bad news. You work from home and that person is you. So, if you work at Vanity Fair and think that Trump and Melania are awful, that's fine. No one is expecting you to change your mind. But what you shouldn't expect is for the entire trajectory of the magazine to revolve around you and your opinion. That's not compassion. That's self-obsession. You should want to hear other people's opinions because sometimes they make valid points. No one's always right, except for me when I'm arguing with my husband. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He gets his greatest laughs in the bedroom. Actor, writer, and comedian Jamie Lissow. He once got sunburned from his phone screen. Fox News contributor Tom Shalhoub. She covered the NFL for NBC and did A-OK. Host of the Michelle Tafoya podcast, Michelle Tafoya. And sharks yell Tyrus when he gets in the water. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, and former NWA world champion Tyrus. Jamie, I did not write this question.
Okay.
But someone else did. They wanted to know, Jamie, you've had lots of people quit on you in your life. So how do you feel about this when you hear about Vanity staffers threatening to quit?
Yeah, so I would say they gotta have her on the cover. It's gonna sell the most copies maybe ever. And I think if Melania gets to be on Vanity Fair, I think that Michelle Obama should get to be on Men's Health. I think... I would like to try out the First Lady Boy shoulder workout. Do you know what I felt like was not a good threat? I feel like it wasn't a good threat when she was like, I feel like if you're gonna quit and you're like, we're all leaving if you do this, I feel like when she was like, half of us are leaving if you do this, I don't think it's enough of a threat. You're like, if you put her on the cover, a portion of us are out of here. A third of us are out of here, possibly a half if Bob agrees, but he kind of wants to stay. You will be left with only a handful of very qualified people that could totally do our jobs. I think they got to do this cover. I think it sells more than any issue.
Yeah, Michelle, do you think these people will actually leave?
They remind me of the people who say, if Trump gets elected, I'm leaving the country. And a couple of them did, to their credit, right? But no, I want to take one quick second to just say I just came in from Minnesota, sending all my love to my peeps in Minneapolis after today. And that's that. So these people that do that, they called Trump a despot. They said, we're not going to normalize this despot. I looked up the definition of despot.
Good, because I wanted to know.
I'll tell you. Tyrus, it's a ruler or other person who holds absolute power and typically one who exercises it in a cruel or oppressive way. So
I want to be a despot.
I've heard you can be.
Yes.
But anyway, no, so he's not a despot, right? I know this hyperbole continues, and it's such a ridiculous thing. So he's not a despot. And she speaks 6 languages. She's quite an accomplished woman. She is a mother. She's stunning. And I'm with you, Jamie. They put her on the cover. They sell a ton of copies. Let's not just discount that he can say half of my staff's going to follow me. Well, half of the country and more voted for this guy. So put his wife on the cover.
I agree. Yeah.
Jamie?
I agree. And for anybody, I just looked up hyperbole. It means exaggeration.
Good looking out. Good looking out. I mean, Tom, Melania herself said, I think it was, I believe, last year, she doesn't really care if she's on covers or not. There are more important things. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I think she said, I don't care. I care not. I care not about cover. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned Greg's helicopter.
Yeah,
you always know
second helicopter.
Yeah, I know. He wants to, but you always know it's Greg's helicopter because when it's flying over, you see a kid with the controls. Yeah, this is ridiculous. I think this would be, they should definitely put her on the cover, not just because it will increase circulation, but you'll have 100 of those people quit. I think I looked it up. There's like 650 employees. Really? I'm sure they can cut that down to like 200. So put her on the cover, 100 people quit, then put Elon on there, another 150 people quit. Follow it up, put Trump on there, 200 people quit. You can then run the thing with 200 people.
Yeah.
You've doged the whole magazine.
There's really 650 people?
Yes.
That's shocking to me, Tyrus.
I'm not shocked by this at all. And the First Lady took the high road. You know, good for her. It's not really my thing. I think it's arrogant when an anonymous person, but he outed himself because he's clearly a manager or of some sort because he said he had a staff.
Yeah.
So half my staff will walk out. So go ahead. And then he went further to say, if I have to go working at Trader Joe's and bag the groceries, then so be it. Sir, what gives you the right to besmirch Trader Joe's? What is going on? Cracker Barrel, Trader Joe's. Everybody is mad at white places people shop. I don't understand why they keep attacking these white-based places. Trader Joe's is great. It's a great place to go get, like, Chinese food if you don't want to eat actual Chinese food. They had the little glass apple juice things when I was a kid. That was a big deal. That was a huge thing if your mom would trust you with glass. I never got it, but I always wanted it. But I'm just tired of these people who make these stupid. If I would have read that, I would have fired somebody and his staff, because you know his staff would be like, that guy, I don't even like him. Like, this ain't Jerry Maguire. Who's going with me? Like, no, it's a magazine job. You're already holding on by the string of your teeth as it is.
Jerry Maguire was not a character in Happy Gilmore, so I also don't know who that is. But Tom, right, you have to be able to work with people you disagree with.
Yeah, and the thing is, they all, you know, I remember when Bush was president, they all said he was evil. I remember worst president ever, and they, and they didn't want to normalize the Bush presidency. But now Bush is hanging out with Obama, and I think Bush's daughter's on it. Isn't she on like Good Morning America or something?
Today's Show.
Yeah, they're all part of the establishment. They're going to forget about all this. They think that, you know, Trump is president now, so he's the most evil thing. I remember in the 80s when Reagan was evil.
Yes.
But even though Reagan and the first George Bush were evil to those people, they never took it out on the wives. Nancy Reagan was on the cover of Time magazine. Barbara Bush was on the cover of Time magazine. So they never did it with the wives. Now they are, because they have no class.
Normalize not letting politics control your life even more than it already has to.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.